Hi, you guys. Hopefully, you can hear me. So, what I wanted to do, I wanted to find what Game had actually stated before I got into this whole conversation. So yeah, let me read what he wrote. Now, Dr. Umar, everybody, on the blogs, right? And I agree with Dr. Umar on this. I'm going to play you guys a piece of what he had to say, but I do agree with him on this. Like everybody else was speaking on this, right? Everybody was posting this, and let's understand, it's like Kevin Samuels was saying to Ti, you shame people, you kind of embarrass them, and it's going to trigger them to respond and to react. And this is how people are building their platforms, by evoking emotions out of folk, right? Okay, so all of these blogs posted this picture of LeBron James' son, one of his sons, because I think they have two sons, right? And a daughter, and with his prom date. Now, mind you, I haven't seen that he's not the only, well, I know it's becoming less and less, but he's not the only black man in the NBA, NFL, wherever, in that sports world, or even in the entertainment industry, with children that are going to prom, right? Or graduating, or what have you. But for whatever reason, they selected to post whatever. I guess LeBron and maybe his wife, maybe the little boy posted it himself. I don't know. But they decided to post this young man and his date. And that's the only person that I see on any of these blogs. And so you have to understand what people are doing with some of this. They're doing this to create a stir or a conversation. And so and so this one was on Hollywood Unlocked. Now I know Dr. Umar was on Twitter, and that's where his original post was. He, of course, have deleted that post since then. Now his original post was on Twitter, and I guess the blogs went over there and they got it. But I have noticed, since I'm on Twitter a lot more these days, that every time any conversation comes up around race, someone posts a meme with Dr. Umar somewhere involved in it. And so I do think that he has to start to understand his celebrity for what it is. I'm not saying he's a celebrity, but as far as people using his image and how they use it, I think that he needs to start paying attention to that, right? Because I don't know that that's necessarily what he is trying to get off into. But he of course deleted the post, but Hollywood Unlocked had already took a picture of it, and they posted what Dr. Umar said, no disrespect, but yo, LeBron, I thought you were an activist. And then he said some more stuff, because I actually saw this posting when he posted it on Twitter. But that's the picture caption, right? So Game goes into Hollywood Unlocks comments, and he says, literally, a child and his prom date. LeBron made it out of the mud to provide a better life for his children. If his son wants to go to prom with someone of any race, he can. And his child, and evidently both parents for both sides are fine with it. Kids are and will always be off limits. Now, when I saw this story on one of the other blogs, I had to chime in, because everybody's child should be off limit. When y'all see a white person, that all of a sudden children are supposed to be, no, all these kids should be off limits. Blue Ivy is off limits. Zaya is off limits. Okay, all these kids should be off limits. All of them are underage, and they're far more younger than this little boy and this girl on this prom. Now these kids are going into adulthood. They're about to turn 18, so let's cut it out. So when we do this little nonsense, we want to use this little line about kids are off limits. Let's keep that same energy with everybody's child. Black, white, green, or purple, everybody's child should be off limit. And that's what I said. But that's neither here nor there. Worry about your own. That's what this is Game saying it. He said, in words, always got something to project on others, but scared to look in the mirror at themselves. No disrespect, then disrespects. Okay, so that's what he wrote, right? And so people were in the comments, and they obviously went to see if Dr. Umar was going to respond. And I guess they went back to Twitter to see if he was going to respond on Twitter, but he didn't. He actually responded, however, on YouTube, and I'm going to play some of what he had to say. Um, I can understand him taking the post down. Like I said, he needs to recognize how these blogs and how people will use what they think his image represents. And that's my only message to him. Now, I can say some things about the game, even, a hit dog will holler about jumping into this conversation, or any celebrity for that matter. I think it's disingenuous. And that's why I said they only posted LeBron's son because they knew that that was going to cause a conversation. Otherwise, if he would have been on a date with a little black girl, we would not have never known anything about it. Okay. So let's be real about that. Regardless if Savannah and LeBron would have posted their child or not, if he would have been on a date with a little black girl, we would not have seen those prom pictures, because we're not seeing nobody else's child's prom pictures, okay? Because clearly there's no conversation when you want to, you know, promote anything else, right? And so people need to, when you're being disingenuous and talking about evoking emotions in other people, when you're getting emotional about something that's really none of your business either. And that's just kind of how I feel about the whole game thing. And I also feel like everybody's entitled to their opinion, and people need to be mindful of that as well. And like I said, these blogs posted these pictures for a reason. They knew what they were doing when they did that. Um, that's it, and that's all. Let me let you guys listen to what Dr. Umar had to say.
Interested in a war, and I'm not interested in a war of words. I don't want to go through what my North Philadelphia brother Meek Mill went through with the game. I said I do not want to go through what my North Philadelphia brother Meek Mill went through with the game. I don't have a need to prove my manhood to nobody, and I don't have a need to convince anybody of my manhood. So this is not going to be no East Coast, West Coast. It's not even going to be a beef. The brother expressed his opinion, and I'm going to express mine again for all to hear, including the game. As a revolutionary Pan-African nationalist, as someone who is committed to the ultimate liberation of African people, I reserve the right to critique the behavior of any African. And I reserve the right to constructively criticize the behavior of any African if I deem that behavior to be in direct contradiction of what we as Black people, and particularly we as Black men, need to be doing. LeBron James is a man who I respect. I think he's been a great role model for Black boys. I don't consider him to be a political activist at all, but I do consider him to be a good role model for Black boys. And because so many young Black men look up to LeBron James, rightfully so. He has a Black wife. He stayed out of trouble. He's went straight from high school to the NBA, and he has kept his image and his life squeaky clean. He is definitely an exemplary Black man. With that being said, he is not perfect. And with that being said, like all humans, we engage in contradictory behavior from time to time, and it doesn't hurt that somebody exposes that contradictory behavior. I did not destroy, I did not disrespect, I did not malign LeBron James. I did not cancel him. I said it was unacceptable, irresponsible, and politically dysfunctional for a man of his stature, with the amount of Black boys who look up to him, to allow his son to take a white girl on the prom. If Game disagrees with that, I respect his right to disagree, but I am not backing down from my position. I don't scratch unless I itch. I don't dance unless I like the music. It was irresponsible to do that, because the unspoken message in LeBron James deciding or allowing his 17-year-old son to take a white girl to the prom. Let's talk about the unspoken messages. What are the unspoken messages that are communicated to black boys and black girls by Bronny James taking a white girl to the prom? Let me give you one unspoken message. One unspoken message is that although LeBron James may have a black wife, he does not have a problem with his son having a white wife. Although LeBron James has a black wife, he does not have a problem with his son having a white wife. That's one unspoken message. Another unspoken message to black girls all over the country is I'm still not good enough. I'm still not good enough. Even LeBron James doesn't have a problem with black men dating outside the race. And for anyone to hint at saying his son taking a white girl to the prom is a non-issue is absolutely a fool or politically uneducated. Everything you do is a political statement. Everything you do is a political message. Everything you do has political repercussions. We are living in a country where educated black men date and marry outside their race more than the men of all other races put together as a percentage of the population. I know that. You know that. LeBron James knows that. I am not discounting the good things he's done, nor am I dismissing him as a role model for black boys. I do not have a problem with LeBron James. But the decision to let his son take a white girl to the prom reinforces an unspoken message that black women and black girls are insufficient to be the queens for black men. And that is a dangerous message. And someone as public and as popular and as prominent as LeBron James should have exercised better decision-making skills. We all make mistakes. We are all adults. This is not a cancellation. I'm simply saying that it was wrong. That is still that man's son. He still lives in his home. He is still responsible for his behavior. It was wrong. Just like it was wrong for LeBron James's good friend Dwayne Wade to let his childhood son make the decision. Dwayne Wade was wrong. Gabrielle Union was wrong. LeBron James was wrong for letting his son take a white girl to the prom. That is my position. If our good brother, the game, wants to disagree with me, he can disagree with me. He has his opinion, but I have mine, and I'm not backing down from my opinion for nobody. I'm not the only person to post that picture. He posted it himself. He is a celebrity as a child, and his father is a celebrity, one of the most prominent celebrities in the world. So that picture of LeBron James's son and his snow bunny prom date was already seen by tens of millions of people all around the world before Dr. Umar posted it. So let's not be disingenuous about this and try to make it look like I somehow got my hands on a picture that the world had not already seen. Let's stop being ridiculous. Now, if the game thinks it's okay for black boys to date outside of their community, when only 1 out of every 4 black women is getting married, if the game thinks it's okay for black boys to marry white girls, even though most black women will never get married, that's his opinion. If the game thinks it's perfectly fine for black men to not be loyal to black women, to be committed to black women, and to be committed to building up strong, independent black families, that is his opinion. Like I said, we're not going to go back and forth. We're not going to have a conflict. We're not going to have a problem. That's my brother. I respect him. We got a difference of opinion, and I'm going to leave it at that. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, I am here at Blessed Love Community Center. I am excited. I am happy. I am in good spirits. I am in high spirits, and I'm about to drop the Marcus Garvey grenade on the stage. It is now 6:53. It is now 6:53. It is now 6:53. I'm hoping you're on your way. Long Beach pull up, Compton pull up, Watts pull up, South Central pull up, LA pull up, Southern California pull up. Because in a few minutes, I'm going to take the stage and we're going to talk about the problems of the black community. And we're going to talk about them honestly and realistically.
So yeah, um, so yeah, he kind of responded. Like people were saying, "Oh, he took it down, and he's scared." Like scared of what? Like, child, bye. First of all, I was tickled because I'm like, how did the game even know who Dr. Umar is? And that's when I started looking into the whole situation. Because I wouldn't expect someone like the game to even know who a Dr. Umar is based on what Dr. Umar stands for. You know, I've said this before, there is a clear divide within people of color and black people today in this country. And so I'm not going to pretend about that. Like people can pretend if they want to, and pretend like, you know, a Dr. Umar should be posted on a Hollywood Unlocked. No, he should not. You know that you're not, that your audience is not going to understand what Dr. Umar is talking about, right? So why are you even introducing them to him, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's the intentions of these blogs and the people that are using these images and how they're using them. I'm sure when LeBron and Savannah posted their child, they were just posting it out of a sense of pride that they got their son to that level, right? To graduate from high school, right? Prom, high, graduation, all that stuff comes in, together. And so I'm sure they were not posting his picture thinking they were going to spark some conversation behind it. Um, Even though I get what Dr. Umar is saying, I don't expect other people to get that. In particular, people in the black people today in this country, I don't expect them to understand what he's saying. And so, and I've said that before, like the conversations that I have sometimes and the conversations that people like a Dr. Umar will have or a Cynthia G or certain people, they're really not for everyone, right? Because everybody can't comprehend what we're saying because they don't want to understand in one. And some people are just not going to go and do the work to understand or to even verify if the things you're saying are true. And so they get emotional and then they start doing what they're accusing you of doing, because I find it interesting that the game started doing exactly what he was accusing Dr. Umar of doing. Like, why are you even in the conversation? And like I said, why is this even on Hollywood Unlocked in the first place? Right. Right. Now, people are entitled to their opinion, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. Dr. Umar is entitled to his views, and you're entitled to your views. LeBron and his wife, who is a woman of color, his wife is not the way that Dr. Umar is trying to explain that. She probably does not have a sense of responsibility to the black race the way you think she do. And on top of that, I think it's disingenuous that people thought anybody, I don't care on these blogs where you are listening to me talk right now, it's very disingenuous for people to pretend like you thought that you were going to see any of these celebrity kids go to prom with another black person. Okay. You didn't think that. You never thought that, and you know it. Like the fact that were trying to make that a thing is that part for me, where people try to create this friction where there really should not be none, because nobody really thought that that little boy was going to go to prom with someone that looks like him, based on his tax bracket, based on where he lives, based on a plethora of things, the peer pressure that is now a way of life for black men in this country. This stuff has become the norm. Like it would have been more shocking if he was on a date with a black girl, to be really honest. And everybody don't want to admit to that, but that's just the truth of the matter. And I don't want to get into any debates about, oh, more black men are married to black women. I'm not talking about everyday black people. I'm not talking about black people as a collective. I'm talking about people in a certain tax bracket. It was not, you guys did not expect to see that little boy with a little black girl. Okay, so cut it out. That's it, and that's all. That was just my take on the whole situation. I just wanted to say, That yeah, because I saw people were saying Dr. Umar kind of backed out of the conversation. No, he didn't, and he doesn't have to, because he wasn't talking to the game. He was on Twitter where he posted that, and people decided to take that to their blogs for whatever reason. And like I said, I don't expect, because I do go to these blogs, I don't expect the people that's at Hollywood Unlocked to embrace a Dr. Umar. Okay, so there was really no reason to post anything that he's saying on these blogs. His conversation is not for everyone because everyone's don't get what he's saying. Okay, and so that's it and that's all. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. If you get what I'm saying, you know, you don't expect to see. I mean, I don't even remember the last time. I think that people were surprised to see Sasha, the Obama's youngest daughter, with Clifton Powell's daughter son. Remember, I think that was like a few weeks ago. Like, that was a big deal because you probably would not have expect to see her dating someone, you know, that looks like her or similar to her. That's all. Because of the lifestyle that these people live and the people that they're around most of the time. And so that's not anyone's fault. There's nobody to blame for that. you know it is what it is based on a whole lot of things, and I'm not getting ready to get off into no deep conversation about that. But that's, it's because of a whole lot of things, and some of this stuff is not going to change. It don't matter how much Dr. Umar is saying this, that, and the other across the country. These things are not going to change. And a lot of this stuff was written, right? The way that it's going is the way it was written. So it's going to happen the way that it's happening. And that's it. I don't care who LeBron take to the prom. Child, I could care less. It's none of my business. It's nobody's business. Um, Kids should go to prom to have a good time, and that's it. To mark that moment that they were there in high school. That's it. It's not. It should never have been opened up for a debate tip for anyone anyway. And I think that's why Dr. Umar went on and just erased the post. But I think that he should be careful about stuff that he is posting because he seems to have a celebrity now, in particular on Twitter, where people are taking his pictures and taking things that he's saying and putting them into the context in which they want to put them in. And so he needs to be mindful of that. And that's just my opinion. He already got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Let me know what you guys think. I'm just saying. Let me know what you guys think about this conversation in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.